Hey, welcome back to the Weekly Word. We're having an outdoor adventure here at Blythewood Farms. I'm sitting on the steps of the Herr Conrad cabin. Herr Conrad was a Cherokee who led the Trail of Tears back in 1838. Just sitting on his porch here don't seem like it's that long ago, but it's almost 200 years ago, wasn't it? That was a sad, sad chapter of American history, wasn't it? I'm kind of concerned, though, about all the revisionist history that I see, especially on social media these days, about how they make it sound like the Europeans were all devils and the Native American were all angels. But the truth is there were plenty of devils and angels on both sides, so to speak. It's not like the Native Americans were over here all in peace and harmony and holding hands and singing Kumbaya together. They were really, war was a big part of their life. It was a dark and bloody ground over here. All these tribes, they hated one another, and a typical Cherokee warrior, he was very proud of the post in front of his home with all his scalps hanging on it. Much like us rednecks today display our deer antlers. That's what was over here. So while you, on the one hand, you say, well, the Europeans brought a lot of evil over here. Yes, they did. Some of it was bad, and some they brought some good too, though. Some of the bad stuff they brought was inadvertently. They brought squirrels throwing hickory nuts at me. They brought with them diseases that it was a novel thing to the Cherokee. That's a word we learned here just a few years ago, wasn't it? Novel viruses come and your body doesn't have any resistance, and it wiped out whole tribes. But one thing that was very good that the Europeans did bring over here that you don't hear too much about in the revisionist history is they brought Jesus over here. The Native Americans, well, sometimes you hear, well, like the Cherokee, they had their own religion and they believed in one God, the Great Spirit. And yes, that's true, but that's not enough. Nobody can get to heaven just because they believe that there's one God. In fact, I'll give you some Bible. James chapter 2. He says, thou believest that there's one God? Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. See, just to be a monotheist is not enough. Nobody's getting to heaven, ever did or ever will, or right now, nobody ever gets to heaven without going through Jesus. That's what my Bible says. He said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. So I'm very thankful that the Europeans brought the gospel over here to the Native Americans. One particular story is about a Cherokee chief by the name of Yanaguska. Yanaguska was a great chief, and he was a great chief ultimately because he was a great man of God. The missionaries brought him the Bible, and he did an astounding thing. He read that Bible, and when he got through with it, he put it down and he said, that's a good book. He said, it's astounding, though, that as long as the white men have had it, that they're not better people. Touche, Yanaguska, touche. But Yanaguska, he's in heaven today because he trusted Christ, and he's very thankful for the whites who brought the gospel over here to him. So watch out for this revisionist history. There's a lot of stuff in there that's just spin, and when it's spin, that's not the whole truth, and it's really just a subtle form of a lie, isn't it? It was a sad chapter, though, the Trail of Tears was, but the point is that I'm simply making this little video here sitting on the Herr's cabin that he had to leave and go to Oklahoma, is that it's not all black and white and it's not all good and bad. It's like everything else. There's a mixture of it. And the point that I'm making to you is you may believe in God, but have you trusted in Christ? Because there's no going to God in heaven without going through the Christ of the cross and the empty tomb. We'll see you next week on the Weekly Word. Thanks for joining us.